Tankers, welcome back to my videos. I am wot Blitz, and today we are talking about the Tier 9 Conway, the final video I will be making on the British tank destroyers. I'm not going to do a video on the Challenger just because I never researched it. I had enough free experience saved up through my battles to actually skip it. I really don't have 100% crew or anything on it, past the Tier 7 high ground all the way up straight to the Tier 10. So I am on the Conway now. So speaking with the Conway, I will go over the statistics first, and this tank has two different guns. It has the stock gun, which you see me running here, and it has a 600 damage gun, which is, I think 60,000 experience, or pretty expensive like that. Now, the stock gun has a total of 3,653 damage per minute, which makes it a very nice gun with a reload of about 7 seconds, compared to the 600 damage gun has 3,053 damage per minute with a 11.79 second reload. So, speaking about the guns, personally, I think that the stock gun is actually better than the the 600 damage gun. And Meadsea agrees with me on this, and so does Skate Extreme. They actually made videos just saying how this gun is the better choice. Now, both of the guns are good, but I played this gun for about 100 battles in this tank, trying to grind up the line, and then I got the better gun researched, and I actually was doing much worse in it average damage-wise. I was probably pulling out about 2,600 to 3,000 average every game, compared to, with this gun, I was pulling out 3,500 average damage every game. It was kind of ridiculous. You can see I only have 68 health this game with, 1,142 damage, and you'd be like, gee, why is he showing me this replay? This is a terrible game, But you will see just how good this gun can be if you do get it in the right situation. So we did manage to snap that AMX, and that brought us up to 1,500 damage. So at least if I did die, we would have a bit of damage to go off of. I tried to slam that shell into the top of that E3, it just did not want to work. And I saw that the AMX is not pulling out again, so I had to make the move, and I figured that going all the way around was the smartest decision because they were both holding that medium. So as soon as one of them pushed around the corner, the medium will shoot, and I will shoot them. That's what my plan was. You can see I just snapped that shell right into that AMX. Now, if I was running the 600 damage gun, he would most likely have been dead right there. However, I would not have been able to shoot this shell into the 140, and the 140 would have most likely killed our 268. So this tank gun actually did have an advantage. Now, penetrating an E3 from the front is nearly impossible, so I loaded a high explosive and shot it in between his tracks, killing him for 148. And now, with only 68 health, we've managed to bring our 1,100 damage up to 2,390, which is quite impressive. Now, unfortunately, that shell does miss, but everybody gets those shells once in a while. I probably should have let it just a bit better. But I was going to load a high explosive and come up behind this object 268, but my teammate just manages to finish him off as I'm about to pull around the corner. But the good thing is I do not get spotted because of that. And I see this grill over here now, and I thought I was going to die. I just wanted to shoot the grill, see how much damage I could deal out. And you're going to see how ridiculous this gun is in damage per minute as soon as I push on him. Not to mention, this tank has 10 degrees of gun depression, and it goes 40 kilometers an hour. So it has just really good stats overall, and this tank actually has decent armor. It's not like the Tier 10 or the Tier 8 where they have absolutely no armor. This tank has a turret that can actually reach up to about 200 thick in the mantlet and bounce shells, and the hull is about a Centurion 7-1. So you actually have the ability to bounce shells with this tank, and since the turret isn't the size of Canada on this thing, or Russia, unlike the Tier 10, you actually have some camo rating as well. Personally, I do think this tank is a bit overpowered. It really just performs extremely well. I played 2 games in this tank with the good gun. I played this as my first game with a mastery and 3,500 damage, positive 17,000 credits. This tank does earn pretty decent credits. We got the Spartan Award. It's just overall a pretty good match. But pretty much every match you play in this tank turns out to be good, and I'll show you in the next game how well this tank can actually perform. Now, when spawning on the map Canyon, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, do you have gun depression? Because if you do, you want to push your tank right up the middle hill, like I am doing, and you're able to really contest the entire map. You have a 360-degree view of every single tank, where they are. You can spot, you can shoot them, especially if they don't push on the other side of this hill. And for some reason their team does not, and they all decide to push C, which does not work in favor for them. As you can see right with this amazing aiming time, we snapped that shell right into the side of that IS-6 for our first 430 damage. And it just gets a lot better for us. Again, another IS tank pushes across, and our really great accuracy just slams that shell right into the side of him. This tank's gun really reminds me of the Tortoise in a way. I think it's very, very reminiscent of it. Pretty much similar stats. And you can see I am loading Hesh there to try and penetrate him, but he angled back his tank. Believe it or not, this tank actually has 120mm penetration of Hesh, which is very nice. As you can see by I just nearly clipped out T-49 as he tried to push on me. And that is the really nice thing. And we're going to take a blind shell on that IS-3, and it flies true and blew him up. And we've already managed to rack up 2,100 damage within the first 2 minutes of this game. That's only been a minute and 30 seconds. And you can really just see how good this gun is. And I was going to play the other gun and get some replays up, and maybe get a 3 or 4K game with the other gun, but I actually couldn't. I played about 5 games in a row with the other gun, and I couldn't get anything good in it, so I played one more game with the 400 damage gun, and I managed to pull out this replay. And this replay pretty much saved all that effort I had wasted on the 600 damage gun. Really, do not get the 600 damage gun. It's mandatory to get it, but don't purchase it to be able to use it, because it's a lot more fun to actually run the stock gun personally. It performs much better. You can see here we managed to take down that full health tier 9 tank destroyer, and it's pretty much dead now within 30 seconds, and it's that easy just to take out these tanks. It's tap, tap, boom, dead. We've already managed to pick up 3,774 damage, and that's just the beginning of this match. There's still 4 enemy vehicles left. And you can see we're just crazy pushing up there. And with Hesh, this tank actually has 4,703 damage per minute. So it has a crazy damage per minute just in general. Now, we took a blind shot there. You can see the shell disappeared. I do not know if it penetrated. We will have to find out on that one in a little bit. But I am still going to stay at this hill because it is the best spot. Unfortunately, the shell does not penetrate the IS-6. It must have just clipped him on the side when he was turning his tank. And he is going to be pushing on my medium tank, who made a very bad decision there. The medium on my team should not have pushed down into there. That was a bad spot, and now he's pretty much one shot. Good thing we are in a Supremacy match, though, because I am a lot quicker than the enemy tanks, and the Charioteer was sitting at about 300 and something health last time I saw him spotted. Now we clear this IS-6. We would not have been able to do that with the 600 damage gun. That gun really helped us out there. And we're sitting at 4,400 damage now. And our T-26 is going to be pushing up into base C. However, that is a very bad move on his part, judging that nobody else is spotted anywhere else on the map. I thought that they had a possibility of coming up to the side of me. That's why I was looking that way, but it turns out they just did not for some reason. And I am going to spot a random ISU pushing up. I don't know why he was headed towards that way. I don't know where he came from, but he does manage to spot me, which always does suck. But we're pretty much sitting at 80% health, so I can afford to take hits by these tanks, especially since I have the spall liner on. 20% of that high explosive damage taken is given away. Now, unfortunately, the view range on this tank is not spectacular, because if it was, there is an IS-8 stuck on a rock over at C, and I could have probably broken 8,000 damage if I had have gone up the middle instead of trying to flank this ISU. Unfortunately, my T-26 just bounces right on that ISU, which really sucks. However, we actually trick this ISU pretty good here, is he goes invisible, and we push on him, but he doesn't know where we are. He thinks he's detected from the front, backs up, and we shoot him, and we actually don't get detected from that. Now, I don't know why the enemy team still hasn't moved. Their IS-6 is stuck, but the Charioteer on their team is not. The Charioteer should have rushed over to B. But I really wish I had seen this guy. You know, I'm sitting at 4,800 damage. That's an extra 1,200 damage there. So that's 5,000, 6,000 damage there. Just easy 6,000 damage we could have pulled off there. And then there's still that Charioteer left, so that always sucks. But not to mention that also sucked there. But we still managed to do 5,000 damage. We got a Colabanos because just after that ISU killed that guy, we managed to finish him off. Again, the mastery. This tank is not very hard to get the mastery, and if you do want to get the mastery in this tank, you probably have to get around 3,000 damage, 1 or 2 kills. That's about it. Don't run the good gun, though. It's not worth it. And if you do run it, well, that's your opinion, but it clearly is much better than the 600 damage gun is this gun. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.